Snow fell in slow, deliberate flakes, blanketing Maplewood Street in white. The whole neighborhood shimmered with Christmas magic, twinkling lights on rooftops, reindeer displays glowing in yards, the faint echo of carols drifting from radios inside warm houses. Emma Carter parked her silver hatchback by the curb and sat motionless for a moment. The heater hummed softly, fogging the windows. In her lap lay a neatly wrapped gift, a cookbook her mother had admired in a shop window months ago. She had saved carefully, cutting corners, so she could buy it. She stared at the glow spilling out of her parents' living room window. Laughter floated through the glass, her mother's high, melodic laugh and her father's deeper, booming chuckle. It should have been comforting. Instead, it pressed on her chest like a weight. Every year, this street looked like a picture from a Christmas card. Every year, Emma felt like the mistake on the canvas. She whispered under her breath, "Here we go again," and finally pushed the door open. The cold hit her instantly, crisp and sharp. She wrapped her scarf tighter and walked toward the house, boots crunching in the snow. Childhood shadows. Walking up the familiar stone path, Emma's mind drifted back to another winter evening, when she was 5, and the Carter house had been buzzing with excitement. Her father had scooped her up that night and said, "You're about to meet your baby sister." Emma had clutched her stuffed rabbit tighter, her small fingers digging into the worn fabric. She remembered standing in the hospital room, watching as her mother, Margaret, cradled a tiny bundle with hazel eyes and a full head of dark curls. "Look, Emma," her father whispered proudly. "Isn't she beautiful? This is Grace." Relatives crowded around the crib, cooing. Such a perfect little angel. Just like her mother. No one noticed Emma standing quietly in the corner, wondering if anyone still thought she was special. That night was the beginning. Grace was sunshine. Emma was shadow. When Grace took her first steps, everyone clapped and snapped photos. When Emma brought home her first gold star in spelling, her mother just said, "That's nice, dear," without looking up from her knitting. Grace sang in the school play, and their parents filled the front row with cameras flashing. Emma played violin in her middle school orchestra, but her parents had a prior engagement.
It was always like that.
Grace, the golden child, beautiful, charming, adored. Emma, the quiet one, the reliable one, the one expected to understand. And she did. She had no choice. Sacrifices. At 28, Emma lived a modest life in a small apartment above a bakery. She worked as an associate at a marketing firm, spent evenings hunched over her laptop, and counted pennies at the end of every month. Her parents' call in July had changed everything. Emma, her father's voice had been unusually hesitant. "Things are difficult. Bills are piling up. Your mother's medication isn't fully covered. We could use some help." Without hesitation, Emma had said, "Of course." She cut out dinners with friends. She stopped buying her daily latte. She bought rice and eggs in bulk and lived on that for weeks. And every month since July, she transferred money into her parents' account. Quietly, without asking for thanks. Because family mattered. Because maybe, just maybe, if she helped enough, they would finally see her. Entering the house. The Carter home was glowing with Christmas warmth as Emma knocked lightly on the door. It swung open almost instantly, and there stood Maya, her cousin, cheeks flushed from the heat inside. "Emma." Maya grinned, pulling her into a hug. "I was hoping you'd come." Emma smiled faintly. "Wouldn't miss it." Inside, the house smelled of cinnamon and pine. A fire crackled in the fireplace, and the Christmas tree glittered with ornaments collected over decades. Stockings hung neatly on the mantel, each one embroidered with names: Daniel, Margaret, Grace, Emma. Emma's mother appeared in the kitchen doorway, a tray of cookies in her hands. "Oh, Emma, you're here," Margaret said. The words were polite, but cool, like someone acknowledging a neighbor instead of a daughter. Her father, Daniel, sat in the armchair with a glass of brandy, eyes on the TV. "Traffic okay?" he asked, not looking at her. "Smooth drive," Emma said, setting her gift carefully beneath the tree. Her parents' eyes didn't linger on her. They drifted, as if waiting for someone else. the ghost of Grace. Grace wasn't home yet. She went to pick up candy, Margaret explained, smiling fondly. Always thinking of everyone, that girl. Emma bit the inside of her cheek. Grace couldn't even arrive on time for Christmas Eve dinner, and somehow it was endearing. If Emma had been late, it would have been irresponsible. Maya caught her eye and whispered, "Same as always. Don't let it get to you." Emma nodded, though her chest tightened. She sat on the sofa, sipped the cider Maya handed her, and pretended not to notice her parents' eager glances toward the door. The spark. It began with an offhand remark. "You know, Emma," Margaret said while arranging cookies, "we're so grateful to have Grace. If it weren't for her generosity these past months, I don't know how we would have managed." Emma froze. "Grace?" Daniel nodded. "She's been helping us financially since summer. Quietly, too. Didn't want recognition. That's the kind of person she is." The word struck Emma like ice water. She set down her cup. "What do you mean?" "Grace has been helping you." Her mother beamed. "She's been transferring money every month. Never even mentioned it until recently. Such a selfless girl." Emma's voice shook.
No.
"That was me." The room went still. Her father frowned. "What are you talking about?" "I've been sending the money since July," Emma said, firmer now. "Every month. From my account. I've skipped meals, extra shifts, just to help. It was me." Margaret's face hardened. "Emma, don't invent stories. Grace showed us proof." Emma blinked. "Proof?" Daniel's voice was sharp. "She showed us her bank transfers. Don't embarrass yourself by trying to steal her credit." Emma's chest burned, tears pricking her eyes. Years of being overlooked had been painful. But this theft of her sacrifice, was unbearable. Maya leaned forward, eyes narrowing. "Wait a second. Did you actually check the account details, or just take Grace's word?" Her parents bristled at the question. And Emma knew, with sudden clarity, that this Christmas was about to change everything. The front door burst open with a gust of icy wind, and in she came, Grace Carter, the golden child. Her hair was glossy, falling in perfect curls over her shoulders. She carried a bag of candy canes and chocolates, her smile bright as if she had just stepped out of a holiday movie. "Sorry I'm late," she sang, kicking off her boots. "The line at the store was insane, but I couldn't let everyone down." Margaret rushed forward, arms wide. "There's my darling girl." She took the bag like it was a treasure chest. "Always thinking of others." Daniel's face lit up. "Good timing, sweetheart. We were just talking about you." Grace set down her coat, glanced around, and her eyes landed on Emma. She tilted her head, smile never faltering. "Oh, Emma, you made it too. That's nice." Emma forced herself to stay still, her fingers digging into her knees.
Nice.
"Always just nice." Maya muttered under her breath. "Here we go." Margaret placed the candy bag on the counter and turned to Grace. "Your sister was just saying the strangest thing. She insists she's been the one helping us financially these past months." Grace's hazel eyes widened for the briefest second. Then she laughed softly, shaking her head. "Oh, Emma. You must be mistaken." Emma's chest tightened. "Mistaken? Grace, you know exactly what I'm talking about." Grace's tone turned soothing, patronizing. "I understand. It's easy to get confused when things are stressful." "Confused?" Emma snapped. "I've been sending the money since July. Every month. Cutting into my budget, skipping meals. You know that." Grace blinked innocently. "I think you're remembering wrong." Daniel's voice cut through. "Enough. Emma, your sister showed us proof. Her transfers, her statements. Why are you doing this?" Emma's breath caught. "Because I won't let her steal what I've done. I sacrificed for you. Her voice cracked, the room spinning as everyone stared. Proof on the phone. Grace pulled out her phone with a delicate sigh, as though this were a burden.
"Fine.
If it'll put this to rest." She scrolled with quick, confident fingers, then held up the screen.
Here.
Proof. Monthly transfers since July. Margaret leaned in, relief flooding her face.
See?
Just as we thought. Daniel nodded firmly. Case closed. Emma's vision blurred. She forced herself to focus on the screen. Yes, there were PDFs, payment receipts, with Grace's name. But something felt wrong. The font, the alignment. Too clean. Too staged. This is fake, Emma whispered. Grace gasped softly, pulling her phone back. Excuse me? Emma's voice rose. You forged these. You've always needed to be the hero, the favorite. And now you've stolen this from me too. The crowd gathers. By now, relatives had drifted into the living room. Aunts, uncles, cousins, all drawn by the rising voices. What's happening? Aunt Sylvia asked. Emma's accusing Grace of lying, Margaret said coldly. A murmur spread through the room. Emma felt the walls closing in. I'm not accusing. I'm telling the truth. I am the one who sent the money, not her. Maya stood, arms crossed. I believe her. Margaret whirled around. Maya, stay out of this. No, Maya said firmly. Someone has to say it. You two never believe Emma, no matter what. You didn't even check. You just took Grace's word like gospel. Daniel slammed his glass on the table, brandy sloshing. Enough. Grace has never lied to us. Not once. Emma's laugh was bitter. Not once? She lied her way out of every scrape growing up, and you turned a blind eye. Grace's eyes filled with practiced tears. Why are you doing this, Emma? On Christmas Eve? Can't you just let me have one good thing without tearing me down? Gasps echoed through the room. Relatives shook their heads. Sympathy flooded toward Grace like a tide, leaving Emma isolated. Emma breaks. Emma's chest heaved, tears burning hot. I let you have everything, Grace. Every ounce of attention, every bit of love. I gave up pieces of myself, hoping one day, just one day, I'd be seen. And now you've stolen the one thing I did selflessly. Her voice cracked, breaking into silence. No one moved. No one spoke. Finally, Daniel's voice was low and final. If you can't apologize, Emma, then maybe you should leave. Emma froze. What? You've ruined Christmas enough, Margaret added. Your bitterness isn't welcome here. Emma's legs felt weak, her vision swimming. She grabbed her coat, ignoring the stunned look on Maya's face. As she pulled open the front door, the cold night hit her like a slap. Behind her, Grace's soft sobs filled the room, comforting arms encircling her. No one stopped Emma. Not her mother. Not her father. Not her sister. Only Maya's voice called out faintly as Emma stepped into the snow. I'll find you later. Hold on. Exile in the snow. The night swallowed her whole as she trudged down the street, boots sinking into fresh snow. Christmas lights blurred through her tears. The sounds of laughter and carols from nearby houses cut through her like knives. Her phone buzzed in her pocket. Maya's text. Don't give up. We'll figure this out. Emma sank onto a bench at the corner of the street, shivering. She pressed her hands to her face, sobs shaking her shoulders. For years, she had swallowed their neglect. But this time, she thought she had finally proven herself. Instead, they had torn her down once more and let Grace stand in her place. Above her, snowflakes drifted through the lamplight, landing on her hair, her lashes, her trembling hands. And for the first time in her life, Emma wondered if she truly belonged anywhere at all. Emma's hands gripped the steering wheel so tightly her knuckles went white. The car heater roared, but her body still trembled. Her tears blurred the windshield until the glowing Christmas lights smeared into streaks of color. She drove with no direction. Block after block of decorated houses flashed past, cheerful families gathered around trees, children peeking from windows, carols spilling into the street. It all felt like mockery. Her chest ached so badly, she thought she might collapse right there in the car. Grace's face, smiling, innocent, adored, played on repeat in her mind. Her parents' words echoed like a cruel refrain. You've embarrassed yourself enough. Grace would never lie. If you can't apologize, leave. The road blurred. Emma's foot eased off the gas, and she pulled into the parking lot of a 24-hour coffee shop lit up like a beacon against the dark. She shut off the engine and sat there, head pressed to the steering wheel. Her breath fogged the glass. Her sobs shook the small space. For years, she had endured being overlooked, but tonight, she had been erased. Coffee and silence. Inside, the coffee shop smelled of burnt espresso and sugar. The hum of machines and faint holiday music filled the space. Only a handful of people sat scattered, an old man with a newspaper, a couple whispering over mugs. Emma slid into a booth by the window. Her reflection stared back at her in the glass. Red eyes, blotchy skin, hair tangled by the wind. The waitress, a girl no older than 20, placed a steaming mug in front of her without a word. Emma murmured a thank you, her voice hollow. She sat there for hours. Coffee cups piled on the table. Her phone lay flat on the surface, the glowing screen mocking her with the same error message every time she tried her banking app. We're experiencing a major technical issue. All services temporarily unavailable. Please try again later. Emma's chest burned. She needed proof. Without it, her parents would never believe her. Grace's forged PDFs had already poisoned their trust. She refreshed the app again. Nothing. Again. Nothing. Her hand shook as she slammed the phone on the table, drawing a glance from the couple nearby. She lowered her head into her hands, shoulders trembling. For the first time, she thought of walking away from all of them. Leaving town, cutting ties. Was there even a point in fighting anymore? Maya reaches out. Her phone buzzed. A text lit the screen. Maya, are you okay? Where are you? Please answer. Emma wiped her face with her sleeve, typing slowly. Emma, coffee shop. Don't know where else to go. Moments later, the phone rang. Maya's name glowed. Emma hesitated, then answered. Emma? Maya's voice was gentle but urgent. Talk to me. Emma's throat tightened. She tried, but all that came out was a strangled sob. Hey, it's okay, Maya soothed. Listen, I believe you. Maybe not everyone does right now, but I do. And I don't care if Grace waves shiny PDFs around. Something about her story never added up. You don't lie, Emma. You never have. Emma pressed the phone to her ear, the sound of Maya's voice grounding her. I don't know what to do, Emma whispered. The app won't load. I can't prove anything. They hate me. They don't hate you, Maya said firmly. They're blind. But we'll fix this.
Come to my place. Please.
Don't sit there alone. Emma hesitated. But the thought of returning to Maya's warm little house, away from the cold stares of her parents, was too tempting to resist. Okay, she whispered. Maya's refuge. Maya's house glowed with a soft yellow light when Emma pulled into the driveway. The door opened before she even knocked. Maya stood there wrapped in a blanket, 2 mugs of tea in her hands. Come in, she said softly. Emma stepped inside, the warmth hitting her instantly. The scent of cinnamon candles wrapped around her like a hug. She hadn't realized how cold she'd been until now. Maya guided her to the couch, set the mugs down, and pulled the blanket over her shoulders. For a while, they just sat in silence. Finally, Emma spoke, her voice breaking. I'm not lying, Maya. I swear I've been sending that money. Every month since July. Maya nodded, her expression calm but firm. I believe you. Emma looked at her, tears brimming. But no one else does. And without proof. Then we find another way, Maya said simply. Searching for proof. The next morning, Emma woke on Maya's couch, the blanket tucked around her. For a brief second, she forgot where she was, then reality hit. Her phone lay on the table. She grabbed it, heart pounding, and opened the banking app. Still down. Frustration clawed at her chest. She tried calling customer service, only to be met with the same automated message. Due to technical issues, call volumes are high. Please try again later. She slammed the phone down. It's useless. Maya sipped her coffee, thoughtful. Maybe the app isn't the only place to look. What about emails? Doesn't your bank send confirmations whenever you transfer money? Emma froze. Emails. Her heart thudded as she snatched up her phone and opened her inbox. She typed the bank's name into the search bar. Instantly, a string of results popped up. Her breath caught. There they were. July.
August.
September, October, November, December. Each email stamped with exact dates, amounts, and her parents' account number.
Proof. Clear as day.
She turned the phone to Maya with shaking hands.
Look.
Look. Maya's eyes widened as she scrolled. Oh my God. Emma, this is it. This is unshakable. They can't argue with this. Relief crashed over Emma, so suddenly she laughed, a choked, tearful laugh. How did I not think of this before? Because you've been drowning, Maya said gently. You've been holding yourself together while everyone else tore you apart. But now you have the truth. Emma stared at the glowing screen, her chest rising and falling. For the first time in 2 days, the tightness eased. Grace's lies were about to unravel. And this time, Emma wouldn't be the one cast into the shadows. The morning light crept through Maya's curtains, painting the room gold. Emma sat at the kitchen table, her phone open, emails glowing on the screen. Each line of text was a weapon. She had stayed awake most of the night rereading them, heart thumping. Every month, every transfer, every confirmation. All real, all undeniable. For the first time, she felt steady. Maya placed a plate of scrambled eggs in front of her. You need strength, she said softly. If you're going to face them, eat. Emma managed a small smile, pushing the food around with her fork. I don't know how to do this. If I walk in waving these emails, they'll just say I faked them. Grace will cry. They'll comfort her. Then don't just show them, Maya said, sitting across from her. Make them see with their own eyes. Something irrefutable. Emma frowned. Like what? The ATM, Maya said simply. Withdraw money right in front of them. Show the balance. Let the machine prove what Grace can't. Emma's stomach clenched at the thought of confronting her parents again. But she nodded.
Yes.
That's it. No one can argue with numbers on a screen. The quiet before. Emma returned to her apartment that afternoon to collect herself. The silence felt heavy, as though the walls carried echoes of every argument, every moment she had doubted her worth. She stood in the middle of the living room, clutching her coat, and whispered aloud, "This ends today." Her phone buzzed. A message from her mother lit the screen. Mom, dinner at 6. Don't be late. We expect you to apologize to Grace. Emma stared at it, her lips curling into something between a laugh and a sob. They still believed Grace. Her hands tightened around the phone. Fine. I'll come. But it won't be me apologizing.
Christmas Day.
The Johnson household glowed brighter than ever. Strings of white lights framed the windows. The smell of roasted turkey drifted out the door, and laughter rang from inside. Emma paused on the porch, heart hammering. Her reflection stared back at her in the polished glass of the door, pale, tired, but determined. She stepped inside. The living room was filled with relatives. Cousins clustered near the fireplace, aunts chatted over wine, uncles discussed sports. At the center of it all sat Grace, radiant in a red sweater, her golden hair catching the glow of the lights. She looked every bit the angel her parents believed her to be. All eyes turned when Emma entered. The chatter softened. Whispers rippled. Emma, her father said stiffly. You came. Her mother's eyes narrowed slightly. I hope you know why you're here. Emma swallowed hard, forcing calm. Yes, she said evenly. I know exactly why I'm here. Tension at the table. Dinner began in brittle silence. Silverware clinked against plates. Conversation tiptoed around Emma like she was an unwelcome guest. Grace sighed dramatically, dabbing her eyes with a napkin. I don't want a night ruined. I just want my sister back. Her voice cracked perfectly, practiced tears trembling on her lashes. Emma's hands clenched under the table. Her mother reached across to pat Grace's hand. Sweetheart, you're so forgiving. Emma could learn from you. Heat crawled up Emma's neck. Her father cleared his throat. Emma, don't drag this out. Apologize so we can move on. Emma lifted her eyes slowly, her voice steady.
No.
The word dropped into the silence, like a stone into a pond. Conversations died. Forks froze midair. Grace's lip trembled. Emma, why are you doing this to me? I've always loved you. Enough. Emma's voice cut through, firm. She reached into her bag and pulled out her phone.
The first strike.
Emma tapped the screen and projected the emails onto the TV with a quick cast. The glow filled the room, illuminating lines of text across the wall. Payment confirmation, July. Payment confirmation, August. Payment confirmation, September. Payment confirmation, October. Payment confirmation, November. Payment confirmation, December. One by one, the receipts appeared.
Dates.
Amounts. Account number. All matching. A gasp rippled through the room. Emma turned to her parents. Every month I sent money. Every single month. This is proof. Her mother's face paled. Her father's jaw tightened. Grace shot to her feet, voice sharp. Those are fake. Anyone can make fake emails. She's lying again. Emma didn't flinch. Then let's settle it right now. The house fell silent as Emma slipped on her coat. Come with me, she said, eyes locked on her father's. All of you. If you really think I'm lying, let the machine prove the truth. Whispers erupted. Relatives exchanged glances. Curiosity and tension pulled them like magnets. Within minutes, the family filed into cars and drove in a tense caravan to the nearest ATM. The cold bit at Emma's cheeks as she approached the glowing screen. Her parents stood behind her, Grace clutching their arms, her expression twisted with fear and fury. Emma inserted her card. Her hands shook, but not from doubt. She typed her PIN, selected account balance, and stepped aside so everyone could see. The numbers appeared. 6 transfers, each identical. Every one credited into her parents' account. Grace let out a strangled cry.
No.
This can't. She must have hacked it. She's manipulating all of you. But no one moved.
No one spoke in her defense this time.
The glowing numbers on the ATM screen burned too bright to deny. Grace's face twisted, her perfect composure cracking. Tears streamed down her cheeks, no longer delicate and staged but ugly, messy sobs. You don't understand, she screamed. I needed them to see me. I'm always expected to be perfect. Do you know what that's like? Do you know what it's like to fail and watch them turn to you instead? She pointed a shaking finger at Emma. The parking lot echoed with her cries. Relatives stepped back, watching the golden daughter unravel. Emma stood rooted, her chest heaving. For once, she felt no guilt, no shame, just the weight of truth pressing steady in her hands. Her father's voice broke the silence, hoarse. Grace, how could you? Her mother shook her head slowly, eyes glistening with regret as they turned to Emma. My God. Emma, what have we done? Emma swallowed hard, tears brimming. You believe her without question. You doubted me without hesitation. Do you know what that felt like? Her parents flinched, guilt etched into their faces. Grace sobbed harder, collapsing onto the cold pavement. No one rushed to comfort her this time. The ride back to the house was quiet. The spell had broken. Emma sat in the back seat, staring out the window at the blur of Christmas lights. She should have felt triumphant, but all she felt was hollow. Yes, the truth was out. Yes, Grace had been exposed. But the scars of years of dismissal, of being overlooked and unloved, still ached deep. Her father cleared his throat from the front. Emma, we'll talk tomorrow. About everything. About how to fix this. Emma closed her eyes, leaning her head against the glass. We'll see, she thought. For the first time, the golden glow around Grace had dimmed. And Emma, forgotten Emma, was finally seen. The Johnson house was unusually quiet the next morning. No laughter, no clinking of dishes, no cheerful carols on the radio. Only the heavy silence of shame. Emma sat at the edge of the guest bed, staring at the faint sunlight leaking through the curtains. She had meant to stay the night, but after the chaos of the ATM confrontation, her parents had practically begged her not to leave. Her stomach twisted. She wanted to stay in this room forever, safe from their faces. But she couldn't. She rose, smoothed her sweater, and walked downstairs. The sight that met her was jarring. Her father sat at the table, his head in his hands. Her mother paced, eyes red-rimmed from crying. And Grace looked like a ghost of herself, hair tangled, makeup smeared, shoulders hunched. The golden child had fallen. Her mother looked up first. Emma, her voice cracked. We don't know what to say. Emma's throat tightened. You don't have to say anything. You already said everything last night. You made your choice. Her father lifted his head, eyes wet. We were wrong. Blinded. We saw what we wanted to see, and we let Grace play us. I don't know if we can ever make it right, but Grace cut him off with a bitter laugh. Make it right? You'll never forgive me. Don't pretend. You loved me because I was perfect, and now that I'm not, you'll throw me away. No, Emma said softly, surprising herself. Grace's head jerked up. Emma stepped forward, her hands trembling. You weren't loved because you were perfect, Grace. You were loved because you were theirs. But you didn't trust that. You lied, manipulated, stole from me just to keep their attention. And you destroyed me in the process. Grace's lip trembled. For once, she had no clever words. Her mother broke down, clutching Emma's hands. How could we have doubted you? Our own daughter. Emma, we failed you. Emma swallowed, fighting back tears. All my life, I was invisible next to her. Every achievement I had was small compared to Grace. And I accepted that. But when you doubted my honesty, when you threw me out without listening, that broke something in me. Her father's voice cracked. Tell us how to fix this. Please. Emma pulled her hands free. You can't erase the years. You can't erase last night. I don't know if you can fix it, but you can start by seeing me. By not making me a shadow anymore. Silence fell. Her parents bowed their heads. Grace suddenly dropped to her knees in front of Emma, clutching her arm. Please don't hate me. I didn't mean for it to go this far. I just wanted to matter. Emma looked down at her sister, the girl who had been untouchable, worshipped untarnished. Now broken. Her heart twisted. She had dreamed of this moment, of Grace crumbling. Yet it didn't feel like victory. It felt hollow. I don't hate you, Emma whispered. But I don't trust you. And I don't know if I ever will again. Grace's sobs filled the room. The rest of the day passed in uneasy calm. Relatives avoided the Johnson house, whispers of a scandal spreading quietly. The family ate in silence, the grand feast tasting like ash. Emma packed her bag that evening. Her mother begged her to stay another night. Her father promised they would do better. Grace avoided her eyes. But Emma shook her head. I need space. I need time. Maybe one day I'll come back. But not now. She hugged her mother briefly, shook her father's hand, and walked out. The cold night air bit her skin, but it felt freeing. For the first time in years, she wasn't walking in Grace's shadow. Epilogue 1 year later. Snow drifted gently outside the window of Emma's small apartment. A modest tree twinkled in the corner, gifts tucked beneath. The knock at the door startled her. She opened it to find Maya, carrying 2 mugs of hot cocoa. Thought you could use company, Maya said with a grin. Emma smiled, stepping aside. Always. They settled by the tree, the soft glow warming the room. Her phone buzzed on the table. A message from her father. Dad. Merry Christmas, Emma. We love you. We're proud of you. Always. Her eyes stung, but she smiled. Things weren't perfect. The wounds still ached. Grace was still distant, trying to rebuild her life elsewhere. But her parents were trying. And Emma was finally seen. She lifted her mug to Maya. To new traditions. Maya clinked hers against it. To shadows becoming light. Outside, the snow kept falling, soft and steady. And for the first time in a long time, Emma felt whole.